Why is it that every video I do on this channel feels more and more cursed than the previous? And that's in no small part to you guys constantly leaving these wacky suggestions in the comments. Lads, it has been very heavily requested, and today we're going to be swapping the Empire of China and the Holy Roman Empire. Say hello to the Empire of Germania, led by the Celestial Empire of Austria, and of course, the Holy Chinese Empire with the dominant faith of Confucian being led by none other than the Ming. This video was a ton of fun to make, and I really enjoyed it. And like I said, it was brought up by suggestions for you guys. If you want to check out the mod, it's going to be linked in the description. If you enjoy the video, make sure that you leave a like on it. And if you have a friend who you think might also enjoy this video, go ahead and take the link and send it to them. The Empire of China, the Holy Chinese Empire, not off to a good start. They're actually losing imperial authority basically day one. I'm like 2 years in, so probably not going to do well if I had to guess. Like, we're definitely not going to be seeing any like revoking or anything like that. But you know, I definitely could be wrong. The fact that there's no reformation means that things are going to be more or less stable if they can maintain kind of that dominance there. So I don't know, I'm skeptical. And on the flip side, the Empire of Germania, however it's pronounced, is over here with Friedrich pushing through some mandate growth, though the fact that they do not control Aachen hurts them a bit. So maybe we'll see them pushing for that. Hard to say. They have 48 tributaries, so certainly going to be doing well with that, but they do have the mandate, and people can attack them for the mandate. So that might be a liability. Hard to say, might be unrelated, but we have Burgundy over here getting absolutely gangbanged by the French, and probably going to lose quite a bit of land here. Remember, none of this is in the Holy Roman Empire anymore because the Holy Roman Empire is in China. And so the AE is a lot less limiting than it otherwise would be. So a big beefy France may be somebody strong to contest the Celestial Empire of Austria, but you know, we'll see how things go with that. Now, I'm not really sure what's going on here, but the Celestial Empire of Austria has lost basically all of their tributaries, barring a few of them, and they're losing imperial mandate, or like gaining like 0.02 per month. So they're basically losing. They passed one reform, but I don't understand what happened. So things are not looking good for them, because without tributaries, the Empire of China is not really going to be able to do anything. And anybody who plays this game knows that a weak empire means a weak holder of the empire title. So Austria is probably going to pop. And what the heck happened here? Celestial Empire of Austria, not the Emperor of China or Germania anymore, getting beat up on in a war by France, losing Nitra and Silesia, I guess, to Poland, who is now the Emperor of Germania. Poland is the Emperor of Germania. Makes me a little uncomfortable when you think about it that way. But Poland is a losing mandate, so I can't say I think that it's going to go well for them, but it's definitely a change of scenery. And there's just honestly a ton of action in general. Lots of wars going on over here, especially even between the tributaries, because without the HRE mechanics, they can kind of just go to war freely. And while we're talking about things that have a lot of action in it, there's a lot of action in the sponsor of today's video, War Thunder. Yes, lads, off to war we go. War Thunder, also known as the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, is a fiercely competitive PvP shooter that allows you to take control of some of the most iconic heavy vehicles in history. With over 2,000 different tanks, planes, helis, and ships, there is a ton of variety to experiment with as a player. I've actually spent a bit of time in the game myself, separate from the sponsorship, and I've enjoyed shooting down some scrubs in my P51 Mustang. Great care has been taken by the War Thunder devs to provide you with obnoxiously detailed unit models all the way down to their individual components. Nice. And I didn't even mention it yet, but the game is free to play, and it's available cross-play for PC, Xbox Series X and S, as well as PS5. War Thunder covers fast, action-packed PvP gameplay that allows you to play vehicles that cover over 100 years of development, ranging back as far as the 1920s, so all my history buffs can certainly find something to appreciate. If you're a graphics snob, War Thunder also has you covered with breathtaking visuals in 4K resolution and authentic sound effects and music to keep you immersed in the game's atmosphere. As I mentioned before, I have spent a few dozen hours in the game myself, and I can tell you it's so satisfying to shoot down another player after a dogfight. The 20mm Hispano cannons on the Mustang shred metal, and you can customize everything down to the type of ammunition that you fire. Download the game now on PC or console and register using my link below to get a juicy free bonus pack featuring multiple premium vehicles, premium account access, boosters, and much more. It's never been easier to hop in, so what are you waiting for? And to contrast that, where there is no action going on, is the Holy Chinese Empire, still losing 0.1 imperial authority per month, 24 princes, 3 free cities, and a whole lot of nothing going on, a lot of sitting around. I guess it kind of makes sense when you think about it, because the HRE was very much regarded kind of as a stabilizing thing in the time period, though there was a lot of wars that happened in the HRE, so I don't know if that's necessarily a very valid thing to say. But the Empire of China, stronger or weaker with the HRE mechanics? Because I think you could argue that it's stronger. Now, I don't know what's more wacky between a Poland as the Emperor of China, Germania, who has passed 3 reforms and gaining some imperial authority because they managed to force the Great Horde to be their tributary. I think that's getting them quite a bit of points. The Celestial Empire of Austria, who has been absolutely dominated, just lost a war against Venice. Frankfurt, absolutely huge. But lads, I think we know who got the Burgundian inheritance this time. East Frisia got the Burgundian inheritance. And then somehow they got all of Switzerland as well, because reasons. England and France definitely pushing eastward into Germania, though I don't think Germania exists over here anymore. It's over here. This is Germania. Also unrelated, but what the heck is going on over here? Castile has taken over like the entirety of North Africa, with Aragon taking over almost all of Tunis, pushing over into Egypt even. I don't know. I don't know how this is happening, but it is happening, and they're pushing very far, very fast. We also have a united Persia, which everybody always loves to see, or at least I know I do. And an Oirat, who is unchecked by an empire of China, has pushed over and annexed a ton of land over here in Manchuria. So that's pretty good. Ooh, and Japan is actually looking interesting. We have Oda taking over a ton of land with Ashikaga in the middle of them. Be very nice to see Oda doing well. Oda is my personal favorite over here in the Japanese Isles. I think they have the nicest color, at least. Now, I'm not saying that we have anything we need to worry about, but Ulm has arrived. And not only has Ulm arrived, but they have doubled in size, with Stuttgart also joining the Ulmer Empire. And speaking of empires, the Celestial Empire of Austria probably not going to be around for much longer, if I had to guess. Getting dominated war after war after war. They spiraled so bad after they lost the mandate, and it's been absolutely just hard to see over and over and over again. Oh, Lord have mercy, Poland. It just got a coalition war declared on them by France, calling in basically everybody and their mother. Poland is getting gangbanged. They are full occupied at the moment, or at least they're getting full occupied. Mandate is already tanking because of devastation. This is probably the beginning of the end for the Empire of Germania. Well, 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 how the mighty have fallen. Poland, with their capital over in Crimea, has lost all but everything, getting split between the Ottomans and Bohemia, by the looks of it. The new Emperor of Germania is Brandenburg, which is a little bit fitting. But as you can see, they're not doing very well. They have a lot of rebels, and they're not gaining any mandate right now. However, East Frisia is spreading. At least I think they're spreading. They've taken some land from France, I think, and they've pushed up into Schleswig-Holstein. Sleeper pick, East Frisia, doing well. Shout out Chio, one of my longtime supporters on the channel. He's one of the homies. He clicked the join button and joined the homies. And then he also is one of my top supporters on Patreon. We call him the Chimps. So he's from East Frisia. We always joke around about it. So I always love to see it when East Frisia does well. I always root for them, but they're doing really well this time. And looking over into China, Ming is actually doing pretty well. They've touched up some of their lands, and they've actually pushed over into Tibet. And this is not the first time that I've heard of China conquering Tibet. We'll see how it goes this time. And Saluzzo, you absolute mad lad, 1 province minor in 1444, no HRE, no problem. He is expanding, pushing all the way over into Mantua, Genoa, all the way down to the coast. I love this. And if you guys don't know, Saluzzo has incredible military ideas, so you gotta play a Saluzzo campaign into Italy if you haven't before. Very fun. And as is tradition with the Empire of Germania, you have Ulrich III von der Mark here, who has taken over the mantle for East Frisia, currently losing mandate, probably not going to be gaining it at any point, because they are surrounded by people who hate them in England, France, and a massive Sweden, though Russian Laponia looking pretty good with Sapmi hanging out up in the north. So not all sunshine and rainbows for Sweden. Looks like they've actually lost the war to East Frisia, but obviously Poland is dead. They've actually expanded a little bit over here, eating up a couple of small miners. But the Ottomans not going to let that happen for very long. Yeah, that is about what I had in mind there. We have Poland, an islet of the Ottomans. Meanwhile, out east, Ming actually has their name in one place. No more exclaves. Not doing anything with the HRE mechanics because they're just conquering it all, weakening the empire by strengthening the emperor. So that's one thing. Korea looking very much like Korea, but Japan united entirety, pushing into Manchuria as Oirat gets split between Transoxiana, Shun, Russia pushing over this way, and it looks like some of the Manchurian tribes have kind of struck back against Oirat. Also, holy Vijayanagar Batman, they have pushed up into Gujarat, looking very good, actually eaten up all but one province of Bamanis. So shout out Vijay. I feel like they are, of all the Indian blobs, they are the one that least likely to succeed, despite how strong they are early on. So I'm happy to see it this time around. Now, of course, East Frisia had to fall, but if you had to guess who took it from East Frisia, who would it be? Because I think I know who I would vote on. But then you wouldn't know this, but Great Britain has recently taken it, I think, in a war literally just now, and they're losing like 0.2 mandate per month. But lads, I don't think the mandate is what we need to worry about this time. I have not seen an Ottomans this strong in many patches, and I'm very much here for it. They even have an islet over here of Genoa, I think it is. It's like Senova or something like that, but it's in Venice, so I don't know. VJ's continuing to make me proud, absolutely bussin', as the kids say. I wonder if they're going to form Barat. I would love to see it. And I haven't looked at it yet. So in the New World, it's mostly Portugal and Castile in the south, with Britain up here in the northern parts of South America, New Castile in Mexico, as well as over on the left coast. And the east coast is all Britain, except for down here we have a little bit of French who have been cut off. So I don't think they're going to stick around. And one Swedish province here in, what is this, Alabama, I think this is. So, yeah, that's a thing. And after letting some time pass here, the Empire of Germania remains firmly under the crown of George of Lancaster, with 5 tributaries losing 0.64 in mandate per month. Though at the cost of all of their colonial territories for the most part. Canada has broken free, the United States has broken free, and Colombia with English culture has broken free. Peru apparently has also broken free, but with border guard like this, I will not recognize them as an independent nation. Interesting to see Jolof, of all people, is like a coastal nation over here, dominating the entirety of the land, all the way down into the Congo, pushing the Congo up to like Lake Victoria. So that's pretty good. A massive Kilwa taking Madagascar, Central Africa, pushing all the way up to the Horn, and a Ming who ended up blobbing crazy strong, at least looking stronger than Russia, who got cut in half by a couple of breakaway states, and a very, very scary Ottomans all the way from Baluchistan up into northern Italy and southern Germany. Though Scandinavia is united, which is very cool. They must have gotten pretty strong off of East Frisia's collapse, but they also have a ton of land over here in Poland and northern Germany, so their power base is crazy big. Also, shout out Salzburg, who has spread all the way over here into like the Ruhr Valley, and Saluzzo, who has almost pushed all the way to Paris, looking super good. Ottomans are running away with it, which is not really a surprise when you look at those borders. Portugal with their colonial empire in the second place, but the sleeper pick of VJ in the third spot. You love to see that. Ming in the fourth spot doing incredibly well. It's interesting to see Ming in the top great powers after like the 1500s, so that's pretty cool. But Scandinavia, Great Britain, and Ayutthaya in the seventh spot, with Japan with just under 1,000 development in the 8th. It always just blows my mind how much development is over here, because I would not have looked at these guys and said, oh yeah, they're a great power, but they're in the top 8, which is just mind-blowing. Now, I'm not sure what's more impressive, this massive Ottomans or the massive Portugal, controlling not only all of Iberia, most of France, almost all of North Africa, as well as southern Italy, but the majority of the dev in the New World as well. Though Scandinavia absolutely pulled through, I'm very glad to see that they managed to survive. Being at war with a big beefy Ottomans like this is very scary, and they are at war right now. Looks like they actually made it to 1821 doing all right enough to get them in the 5th great power slot underneath the Ottomans with a massive 7,500. Portugal with a 7,300, but you got to keep in mind they only have 4,500 of their own development. But VJ coming in the 3rd spot looking very good. And then Ming with almost 3,100 development in the 4th spot. Scandinavia, as I said, followed by Great Britain at 1,520, then Kilwa, and then Japan. We actually have one of each hegemon, with economic going to Portugal, naval going to Vijayanagar, and a military going to the most terrifying Ottomans I've ever seen. Kilwa definitely did their fair share of development over here. Vijayanagar got pushed back by the Ottomans, But how about that Ming? How about that Ming? Having the Holy Chinese Empire did not do them any favors, but I think not having the mandate was a favor to them. And sadly, Korea has lost a bit of land, but that's not really a surprise when you consider that they are now the Emperor of the Holy Chinese Empire. That puts a pretty big target on their back. The Empire of Germania remained firmly under the British throne here for like another 200 years, so very impressive, though they are losing 3.79 mandate per month. That devastation is crazy. Like, how does this even happen? This is like 100 devastation in every single one of these provinces. That's bonkers. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you got a suggestion of something you'd like to see, make sure you leave it in the comments below. If you haven't already, like the video, make sure you do that. And don't forget to subscribe and ding the bell so you get notified when these videos go up live every week. And as I said before, make sure you check out War Thunder. It's going to be linked in the description. They were super kind and generous to support the video, and I hope that you guys would return the favor by checking out the link in the description. The game is really fun, and I enjoy it myself, and I think you guys will also. Special thanks to ALS Gamer, LeGrand Puba, Chio, Josh Krasinski, Edge Rhino, Juan Damon, Ian Powell, Cannon Fodder, Corporate Gaming, Anthony Grove, Harry Newhouse, Saranska, Ricardo, Cobalt, Rex, Total Farce for It, Drunk Binary, Nathan Albright, and many more. Thank you. For early access videos, check out the join button or the link in the description below.